Hi guys, so let's jump to where we were. So we finished up the main volumes of the back, and let's keep on going and build the body side here. So we'll need all the curves that we've got here and all that, so let's jump into doing that. So I'll start off with this surface here, because that will be the main driving surface for most of the body side, and then some patches up here. So I'll do here a nice bi-rail between these two curves and that projected curve and this one. And since they're not moving, that's why this won't generate. So let's see this again. Here's where we've got a little mismatch. What I'll do, I'll just go ahead and stretch that curve on to there. That's it. And then when everything's in, main surface is in, we can start refining everything based on the sections. If you haven't seen how we've done these curves, please return to the other videos that I've done, or I've done the side frame, and work your way up to this video in the playlist with the Aston Martin. And if you haven't subscribed so far, please do, because there's a lot of interesting content if you're into car modeling, especially if you want to do high quality surfacing. So there we go. That's a pretty nice clean surface there. It's nicely opening up and flattening through this area. So let's see how the rest will work. That one's done. Let's build this one as well. There we go. And then let's see. Let's bring in the curve here, down to here. Make it degree 3 and align its curvature to this surface here. Fine tune that a bit. And then from that edge of that surface to that line, that curve, easy peasy. Let's query this. Generation 1 goes curvature with a nice connection. And as I said before, fine tuning will happen later on. And let's bring on some projection curves. Let's see if we've got that. Yeah, there we have it. Nice curve there. Let's project that onto that surface. This curve here. There we go. And just to keep it live and simple, I'll do here a freeform blend. Default there, default there. Let's turn on to degrees here for the sake of it. Roll this a little bit back. This one back as well. And remember, I said let's keep on the history because we will be refining everything. So it's going to be a lot easier to refine when your history is still alive and working, and you can just tweak curves. That's why we work this way. Now that we've got this in here, let's jump onto the other side. And here, we'll do that by turning on the mesh. And let's run some sections on the surfaces here just to be able to fine tune also on the go. On this here. Let's get the cross sections in this direction. Cool. So here we can see that we're a bit off. So we need to fine tune some of this here. So this curve will take care of those sections there. You see now we're getting closer and closer. Let's see here at the bottom. Let's push this in. There we go. So in this area, we're covering those sections as we should. Now we see that this line might need to come out a bit. So let's see how we do that. That looks okay. And here at the bottom, it needs to move out a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we're pretty good. But here in this area, we're a bit off. See the lights there, looks okay. And let's see here. It's all wonky and odd there, so we will need to see how we get to a nice compromise there. My idea of that area would be to pull this area a little bit out. Give it a bit of volume there, because it needs it in that area. So that'll be that curve there. And let's see how this works. This is why I love history, because I will be adjusting that curve, which is influencing this one. So I'll just move it up a little bit. You see that's moving with it. This one as well. Ever so slight movement. That's it. Now let's hide away the mesh. What we need is that curve, that one. We would need that curve as well. It will pixel. Now, let's just reconnect this from there. So I'll pull that CV, go into the curve, and you'll see that this is already adjusted to it. Now there's that curve, we pulled on that one, this one as well. So let's take this CV, that one, snap it over there, and the side view, we'll extend this curve up to that one, and pull that CV onto the curve, with everything realigned. You see it's all nice and close. Okay, let's bring back the mesh. This is some of the fine tuning I was talking about earlier on. You see here we are off, and we can adjust that by working on this curve. Now what we can do is go up with a higher degree, change the accent in this area, meaning a bit more volume, so the surface comes out and starts to cover those sections there. that I'd rather, as you've seen in the other videos, I'd rather have deviation from this mesh model than be straight on it. And with that deviation, I'll make sure that I've got nice looking highlights. That's what's more interesting for me, at least. For me, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, this one could go a bit flatter in that area. And then we might as well take these CVs and nudge them in a little bit. We'll take all of them with the 3 curves. You'll have the whole line moving with no surface adjusting. See, this is what we are after. This is why history is so helpful in Alias. Building with history is always delivering nice quality. Now, here we're on the model. You see, we're matching up there, but at the front, not that much. So I'll take this point, push it in a little bit, and then I'll realign these two. Basically, I'll pull this point onto the curve again, and let's see what our sections are doing. As you see, we are getting there. Put a little bit off. So let's take that point. More than more. This will cause a bit of twist in the surface, but we will be able to get that cold bottom motion we got in the rocker area. You see that this is coming in and then kicking out. And we're getting there. Cool. Let's turn off the mesh. It's looking nice and clean. And over here, since we've flattened that area, what we've noticed before that we had a bit of a problem there. We still need to readjust these surfaces, but that's all good at the moment. So I'm not fond of that image layout there, but we will fix that later on. It's not what I'm looking for. There we have it. Wasn't what I was looking for. One of the main reasons why you have to make sure you're working clean and you've got everything organized in layers is that you can find things a lot faster than I just did there. So and color coding the layers does help a lot. So now that we've got that in there, let's bring back the mesh. And we see that this is roughly the area where we start to build out. And I'd like to work with a pretty simple surface there. So what I'll do, take that line, this surface, and this one, and the mesh. And I'd like to take a line somewhere around there. Bring it up to that point. Turn it into a degree 4. And then I'll align this curve here to that curve. And you see now we're starting to follow that shape that was given there. And with the fourth CV that we've got there, we can play with the way it arrives onto the wheel arch. And on this area here, I also have some surfaces which are nice to have in the model. And these will go into the work layer, like these. And we'll see also the wheel flats on. So if we got that curve, got that one, we have that. We will be blending from this surface to this, and we will be connecting to that surface there. So I think my rough guess is we'll do this first. And this to this here. I will duplicate that curve. Got a wrong blend factor there, so let's take it to 0. This is better. Now let's duplicate that curve. And what I want to do is to build a surface here. And then build a patch here which closes all this up. But first, let's take this up here. There we go. Let's use the explicit control there. I think I will be blending first from this side down there, and that blend will be then closed to this here. Let's do that. From here, this way, this one, this way. I'm trying to keep everything pretty flexible so it's easy to adjust, and once I find the layout patches that work best for me, that's when I will start committing to these things. I'm going for just a curvature. Let's work this in a different way. You can pull this point in. This one can also be pulled in because we've got that break there that we don't want to have. It could do with a bit of a negative. And then this one, we can also pull these points out. This one here can move easily out to allow for that break to exist there. Now we'll just close everything back. Bring that into that point there. That point onto that curve there. This we don't need at the moment. That can move on to there. This can move up. This one can move rearward. We can take this point here and we could align that curve to this surface tangent in one direction. Reconnect that there. This one there. And this way we know we're going back to curves that are aligned as they should be. You see, everything has adjusted. And we will be able to close this gap here. Of course, this isn't ideal. We'll have to clean that up to have a nice layout, but it's going in the right direction. Still have no break here, which means that we need to adjust these lines a little bit. To make sure that we get a bit of a break there, so it's not washing away. So I'll turn up the degree on this one to 3. And I know now I can push this point in a little bit. Make sure I'm generating that break that I was mentioning. You see slowly, but surely starting to take shape. This one could do also a little bit of flattening. And there we have it. Starting to show up. We'll need to close this up in the next few steps. And then we'll get everything looking nice and clean, because this is not the way I'd like to have it looking. It's too wobbly here. Maybe we'll have to change the patch layout a little bit, and then we know it's going to work better. So I was thinking about this. This would be one way to do it, but I'm not so keen on it. So let's try to adjust this patch layout, because I'm not best friends with it. What I'll do, I'll delete this. Let's untrim this one. This is working pretty good. What we can do, it's a pretty busy layout. So let's reduce this down to 5, even 4, because we've got 4 at the bottom here. There we go. And then let's untrim this one. Okay. So we need to transition from here down to here. We could also build a transition from this side to this one, and then blend them two together. So let's do that first. So I'll stretch this curve up to here. That's it. Hide it, and then I'll do just a freeform blend to this curved surface. There we go. This one here. Set this up as edge line, and this one can be connect. Bigger surface can also allow us to have a more relaxed CV layout there. Okay, there we go. And now this line is a curvature and transform tangent line there, so that's good. And now what we could do is go from somewhere here to that point and go around like that to close this up nicely. Let's go ahead and set these up like that. So I'll stretch this line, this. We have that curved surface, which is looking pretty decent. Now we see here we've got a strong dip there, so that's not going to help us at all. And to avoid that, what we could do is bring this line back in here and move it a little bit down, and then more car forward, car rearward, and see where that dip starts calming down. It's important to avoid areas like that. To give you the example why we do that, let's see this here. Got that patch layout, and as soon as I take that curve and move it car forward, dipping in, and as we see, these are kicking up and down in this view. And once we pull that back, you see it's got a much nicer transition. Okay, that's good. And now that curve, if we give this a bit of a bump, nudging out there, that brings that out. And then let's relax this, bring it down to that. And now we've got an even better situation there. It looks nice. So once we have that, we can go ahead and start blending, basically closing this hole here. What I'll do, I want a curve which is going from that point to that point, and I'll move it out so it sits on a plane next to the car. There we go. And it would be nice if the CVs are laid out quite radial, so that means that this curve, make it a degree 2, and then we move it up like this. There we go. It would be even better if it runs like this down, but let's go with this at the moment. Okay. Now let's project to that surface this curve. See, we've gone a bit too far. So the CV needs to come down this way. That way. Then we can untrim this. Not all these curves because we don't need them anymore. And let's build this I-rail here. I want this curve back. It's not meeting up, which is a shame. That is because this is not positioned there. Let's give it one more CV. One more. Let's try this again. There we go. Multi-span surface. Some guys do love those. I'm not a big fan. Let's see this here. And let's give it curvature all the way around. Explicit control, the 5x5 for the beginning. And then we will fine tune this. That looks quite decent. We need to fine tune this area so we keep this break here that's fading away too much. This could go in a tiny bit. And like this, we know that we keep that break. It's looking pretty good. So now that we've got that in there, you see that connection is not the best, but for the sake of being able to fine tune that, I'll leave it as is. And then once these are sitting pretty well, I will commit to those surfaces and delete the history and realign them. And the reason why I'm saying that is the following. Let me demonstrate that. So we have that transition, which is going gradually from this section here to this one. So it's going from positive to something quite negative there. And it's also not the best looking patch layout. So at some point I will line these up so they sit on one straight line in the side view. But what I would want to do is keep it as is for the moment for the sake of flexibility. And let me show you this. If I go on a higher degree level on the rail side, we'll see that I'm going to get a dip here. See, it goes in, and that's something I'm not so keen on. So I'll keep the number low on the CVs, and once I can commit to this area, then I'll delete the history, realign, and in the next videos you will be seeing that. Let's bring back, let's hide away some of these curves here. Let's put it on that layer there, move the curve around here. Now you see, now it's taking shape, which is really cool. I really like this. So these curves here will go into the curve layer, hide those, and bring back the mesh. So let's see how we're doing there. Rub it off. We're quite off. This is good because it can actually deflate that area a little bit. And this is why we need that flexibility there. So bring back the curves. The side wireframe. Now there's one that we can actually go ahead and deflate a tiny bit. This moves ever so slightly in. See here, we're sitting pretty well on the sections of the scan, which is good. Here at the top, we're deviating a little bit. So that's the fine tuning I was on about. You can go ahead and fine tune some of these areas. See here, off. See this one as well. That's pretty good. So here we're lifting off a little bit. Here it should roll down a little bit. And we're getting back close. So there's quite a bit of effort that we could invest there to make it even better. Let's push this back in a little bit. There we go. So let's make it look like one clean curve in this view. Let's put this one down here. This one can move down here as well. There we go. That's getting us somewhat closer. Now this curve could do with some fine tuning. So let's jump in and do that. It's this area that could deflate. That corresponds to that, but I'll go ahead with this one. That's even more. This one could go also a tiny bit in. Not about this area here. This one can go back up a little bit. And of course, we'll have also the radius here that you see in some areas. Some areas is quite sharp, and others are it's quite flat. So we'll have to do that at a later stage. Let's go back and close everything back up. So that curve, that curve. These two. All of these need to go back onto that line there. So let's start with this one. Pull these series all back. Then I'll bring this one into here. This one goes these two, because actually we have two lines there. This one goes up here. There we go. And that will close everything back up nicely, or halfway decent. And that's because we kept the history, and this is one of the most powerful tools that you've got in your toolbox with Alias, because it allows to change these surfaces all the time, nice and quick and easy, and it's good. This one isn't working. That means that we need to extend this curve a little bit, the projection one. And there we go. Close it back up. Okay. Let's see the mesh again. How we're doing. We got a bit closer. Let's see this surface also with the sections on it. There we go. That could go a little bit closer, but here we're good. Here we're good. So I'm not going to introduce a dip here just for the sake of following the scan or mesh. So it's going to be a bit of a compromise area there as well. Bit by bit, we'll get this done. Now, this one is not closed properly either. That means that this curve here, since we moved those points, is not sitting right anymore. So I'm gonna bring in a curve here. This one, I'll just take it CV and snap it. Just project it to where that curve was. We can delete this for now. Okay, so over there is good. Down here, we need to close it back up. Let's move this CV along this curve here. To the intersection point between that vertical there. So this, and in theory it should line up nicely, but we will see. There's always something that's not 100% matching, and you can always go back and try to get it in. But as I said, that is not a priority at the moment because I want this to work first, this volume here. But it's adjusting, so that's good. Let's bring in one more CV there. still working, not looking that bad, and I'll take care of that as I said earlier. So let's keep on building. We've got this nice area here, the bottom, which I will be building the following way. I'm aligning this to this line here, and I'll make sure it hits that intersection there. That one. That's cool. This one is open. Neat. Forgot about that one. So this line needs to reconnect to that upper line there. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now a nice bi-rail will do. Here, here on this curve and on this one. And it's not working because we've changed this curve since we've done the wireframe. Let's pull this up across here. Let's move these to make it a straight line. Now this one back onto that curve. And this should do the trick. And we need that one as well. So this one's not working because it's not connected to the main curve there. So I've scaled it and then connected it up there. Take that curve and I'll do it like this. There we go. That's one. Now this other one, the rail, that way. So rail, that line, this line, and this bottom one. There we go. As you notice, there's something odd here. And that's because we've got too much crown on that one. So let's do that. Let's just push these points in. We might as well just align this curve to that surface up there. There we go. We'll need also a bit of fine tuning, but it will work. This could relax here a little bit. Let's undo this, because I'll go this way. Take that edge, that curve, and I want that edge of the surface there. So let's Can do that. There we go. That's working. Sneak PCBs here. Bring them up there. And now it should work. It should be all closed. Now that we've got that, we can go ahead and extend this curve here. Project inside view that curve onto that surface there. And let's run this monorail. That curve there. Amazing. Don't you just love this? There we go. So we've got a bit of that flat, wheel flat going through. We'll need some tweaking down here, but it's working. See, it's opening up, so that's why it's not working at its best. That will do for the moment. And now we'll build this patch in here. This needs to connect up to here. That's one done. Let's project onto this side surface this curve, because it is the basis for this patch here. Okay. So these basic surfaces here, and then we'll see later on how they work together with the rest. Here we will go to curvature connection. So generation 1 goes curvature. Let's see this. We'll need some tweaking there. Now we've got this nasty line there that we'll have to take care of. First of all, this has to become a clean surface first. There we go. That's even better. All these need some sections on them to be able to check against the scan there. There we go. Let's bring in the mesh. So we can clearly see that here could accelerate in a little bit. You're a bit off of the model, so that point could be pulled in. Well, this is
way better. Now we just bring all the curves back to connect up, so we know they're working. So stretch this one back to that point, this curve. Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. Goes back in there, that line. Guess what? We stretch it to that point there. That's it. That's connecting up nicer. And you see we're getting closer to the patch layout that we're looking for. This could also move in a little bit. That means move a little bit back. This can come this way. And you see straight away we're closer. This is also getting better. Now this line here, we could pull it in. This one in as well. This one could be pulled that way as well. And this point needs to reconnect here. So here at the back, we've got a lot closer. Here in the front, we're still off by quite a bit. So that means that we need to shake it like this, see where we are. These two miles away, which in a sense is pretty good because it gives us a chance to get closer here. And to do that, we might as well bring this point in. This goes onto that curve there. And we can notice here that here at the bottom we've also got the clove bottle motion, so we will have to delete this patch and bring that line over there to make the same kind of motion. So this goes away. We can copy this curve, move it down to the area here, and make it a degree 3 to keep it simple. We'll connect this up here, and then we will align the curve to this other one. And this curve can be adjusted in the sense that this CV moves in, and then the whole curve slides in a little bit. This moves this way, and we see how things are starting to line up better and better. See, now we're going to get to a very similar situation, like that mesh model that we've got there. And the curvature is given by that, so we will need to treat that maybe separately. Now let's connect this up again so we can close this hole here. So we'll take this rail, this curve here, this other rail, and then that curve. Throw in some cross sections on it. We see that we are getting closer and closer, which is good. So let's hide the mesh. That's working halfway decent. And now what I want to do is take that curve and this one and get that CV to lie similar to that one there. Then we can close everything up again. There we go. They've just realigned. Now that's a flat curve, degree 1 to degree 2. Turn on the CVs. And now we can pull this out. Turn off the model. I want to see the moment where this is sitting like this. Later on, it's going to be easier to translate that. Could leave it as 1 and 2 patches and then work the CVs in there to get the connection running. But we'll do that later. Because now I'm happy to say that we've got the body side more or less closed in, ready for fine tuning and detailing. And as you see, we're starting to get a nice volume here. So what I'll do, I'll finish up the rear wheel flat in a similar manner. That on the front. Pull this CV inboard because the other one moved in as well, and I don't want that twist there. I want to be able to see a nice wheel flat running through. I don't want negative breaks in this area. And also this will get fine-tuned at a later stage. But what I want to do is take that curve, put a line on it, make it, just keep it as is. I have to pull this down a little bit, project it on that in the side view, and I will run a monorail off of that curved surface on that curve there, as we've done at the front. And let's tune that. We can go ahead and do it by rotating a little bit. We go negative there, so -5 degrees. Let's say -8. There we go. Align that little curve to this one here, so now things are sitting right. So while the recording cut off, finish that up similar to the front one, and let's see this here. Could make it ever so slightly negative. Keep that break going nicely through. This will inflate that area and we can take care of it nicer later on. We got that in. At some point we will start closing the volumes down here as well, down there as well. That's it for the main surfaces on the body side. Now, when it comes to the detailing, we'll add those details in here by projecting everything onto it. But I will want to do that once I have fine-tuned these things here. So I think next I will be looking at closing up that corner there, so we know we're blending from the wheel arch area to the rear surfaces there. So we close that corner there, and then once we've got that, we can block in the main volumes of the front. So we will go first by blocking in the volumes and then refining the surfaces. And once we have refined those surfaces, we will go and keep on working by detailing the car. So let's put this in proper order. This goes to the side wireframe. Done. Let's see what other curves I've got here. This is a projection curve. So I'll go into the side projection layer. These belong to the wireframe, so the side wireframe. There we go. This will be the rear projection, rear wireframe. No, the rear projection. There we go. I've also noticed something interesting when I started recording here. We've got that there, so it's just some tubes. That's decent. That's okay. Good. So we've got that in there. And we're missing all of that on the side here. So let's go ahead and pick those surfaces and add them to the correct layer. And in this case, it's just the work layer. That's it.